Things that my exes did, and I still stayed with them. One time I was going over to my boyfriend at the time's house, and I was getting in the shower to get ready, and before I got in the shower, he texted me and was like, I want the Gluck Gluck 9000. And I was like, don't worry, babe. Like, I'm showering and then I'm on my way. So naturally, I take an everything shower, I exfoliate, I shave, I do the whole 9 yards. But when I get out of the shower, I see like 20 texts from him, all sad faces. Me thinking like, oh, he just really wants me to come over. Like, I must be really good. Like, I'm really good at that. Wrong. He texts me back and says, I just got the Gluck Gluck. And I was like, what do you mean? Because I'm not with you. I'm in the shower on my... What do you mean? He got the Gluck Gluck 9000 from my friend at the time. Literally in the amount of time that it took me to shower, he had another girl over and did all of that. I still went over after. Like, I definitely went over and we fought, but I still went over and we continued the relationship.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omomi, aka Petite Diva. And in this video, we are discussing things that my ex did that were outrageous, but I still stayed in the relationship. So some ladies have been sharing their experience and things that their ex did and they still stayed in the relationship. So let's check out what they have to say. And then I'll come back to share my thoughts on some of the things that were said. So let's check out what they had to say.
Things that my exes did, and I still stayed with them. One time I was going over to my boyfriend at the time's house, and I was getting in the shower to get ready. And before I got in the shower, he texted me and was like, I want the Gluck Gluck 9000. And I was like, don't worry, babe. Like, I'm showering and then I'm on my way. So naturally, I take an everything shower, I exfoliate, I shave, I do the whole 9 yards. But when I get out of the shower, I see like 20 texts from him, all sad faces. Me thinking like, oh, he just really wants me to come over. Like, I must be really good. Like, I'm really good at that. Wrong. He texts me back and says, I just got the Gluck Gluck. And I was like, what do you mean? Because I'm not with you. I'm in the shower on my... What do you mean? He got the Gluck Gluck 9000 from my friend at the time. Literally in the amount of time that it took me to shower, he had another girl over and did all of that. I still went over after. Like, I definitely went over and we fought, but I still went over and we continued the relationship. That same boyfriend convinced me to give up my V card by threatening to sleep with one of my friends. He fully said, if you don't sleep with me, I'm gonna sleep with your friend. And me, young, dumb, and in love, said, okay, fine, here it is, here you go. And he still slept with her even after taking it. Moving on to the next ex, one time we were driving and we drove by a car that happened to look like a guy I used to hook up with, his car. And because I just happened to look out the window as this car drove by, he got so mad that he made me get out of the car and walk home. Probably called me every name in the book, told me he saw right through me and literally threw me out of his car. And I walked my happy ass home. Still went back to him though. That same ex lied to me about his name. He said that his middle name was actually his first name, which isn't true, but such an odd thing to lie about. Like, if you can lie about that, what else do you lie about? Obviously a lot of things, but at the time, didn't care. Same ex, didn't know when my birthday was. And when I asked him, like, do you know when my birthday is? He got mad at me for accusing him of not knowing. And instead of like looking on Facebook and just like trying, like pretending like you know, he guessed and he guessed the wrong date. I'm fully convinced the birthday that he did say was the birthday of the girl that he was cheating on me with at the time. Not to mention, he also called me her name one time. I could literally make a part 2, 3, 4, 5 of this, but I guess I'll end with, didn't have a job, drove his mom's car, and he used me for all my money. And before any of you call me stupid, my brain wasn't even fully developed yet, and I'm just a girl, so it isn't my fault.
Hey guys, this is things that my ex did and I stayed. So I would say that I'm the most beautiful girl in the world, and he said, how can I say that when Zendaya exists? He used to not comment compliments under my posts because they were boring, but I saw him comment compliments on his girlfriend's posts, and I said, why don't you do it on mine, but you do it on hers? And he said that's just how their relationship is.
Okay.
One day I made a little post saying know your worth, just to like tell women to know their worth, and he made a post in response saying you're worth like $30 or something like that. He called me a halfie because I'm half black and Hispanic, and he said it was okay because he's half white and Hispanic, but that man looked no type of Hispanic. He was a white man.
Things my ex did that I thought were completely normal. 1. Went to prom with another girl while we were dating. 2. Cheated on me with a 15-year-old girl. And then asked me to spend the night after I found out. And then said I could cheat on him too.
Ah.
3. Lied about having a dead brother. And then would sob some nights about it. 4. Lied about having to take his dead brother's role in a gang and torture people. And that he was from Chicago. 5. Said he would kill my entire family if I ever broke up with him. And use his dead brother's gun. 6. Would smoke 4 times every day, but made his mom go to take him to buy weed because he didn't have a car. And then when he wanted to drink lightly, he would only have a glass of vodka. 7. Would add girls on Snap and had their saved nudes in their chat, but they were old. 8. Lied to my entire family saying he was a boxer. And that he had a 10-0 knockout race. Then eventually lied to his entire class saying his instructor died.
Ow. What is between him?
9. He took me on a picnic date, but made me leave so he could go buy weed, and then got mad when I didn't want to go back. 10. Would never post me, even on my birthday, because he got mad that I was wearing makeup without him. And that's the end of my slideshow.
So, these are things that our exes did that we were conditioned into thinking were normal. Do you want to? I'll do the honors. Okay. I would complain about my sister, and then he would go off saying she's annoying, even though he liked her before we started dating. Okay, go. Got mad at me for being sad my uncle died. When he held me down and pinned me on his bed and told me I couldn't go home.
That's not normal.
Anyway, into the program. Okay. Cuddling with his girl best friends at parties instead of me. Where am I? 2 days before our 8-month anniversary, I asked to hang out, and then he made plans with his friends, who I had yet to meet.
After 8 months.
Told me my teeth is what made me ugly and I'd be prettier if I got them fixed. Asked him what he was going to do for Halloween, and he said, and I quote, "Prob go to a frat party, talk to a bunch of devils and Playboy bunnies, aka other girls."
Wow.
Got mad and asked him for help when cleaning my room. Told me if I didn't go home before 10, he would call my mom, and he wouldn't let me hang out with any of my friends. Not even girls. Made me pay for his gas just to come and see me. When I went to Florida and I got my period, and he told me I couldn't wear tampons because he didn't want them to give me pleasure. I wasn't allowed to be excited about my new job because it gave us one less day to see each other, and that's not fair to him. Would call me an asshole and a piece of shit, and told me I couldn't drink or smoke. Didn't want to hang with my friends because it reminded him he was lonely. The day I broke up with him, which was my birthday, he went on my phone to see who was wishing me a happy birthday, and he got mad that people were. Asked his brother if he wanted to trade girlfriends for a day, just to experience it.
Here are things our exes did to us, but we stayed. I took mine to our family's beach house, and he accidentally showed me a text of him talking with his friend saying that he's with really weird middle-class people right now. What? Yeah. He's like, look at this text, and then like 2 texts up were that. For my birthday, I bought us a trip to the Bahamas and then posted and pretended that he bought it, even though it was my legit birthday, and he didn't buy me one thing. Oh my god. Sent me a text saying, oh my god, a girl just hit on me at the gym, and a month later I found out they were having an affair, and when I confronted him about it, he said that he liked her. And he wasn't gonna stop texting her. At least he was honest. And he was bald. Mine would go on benders for the whole weekend, not text me at all, and then once the bender was over, would call me crying because his liver hurt, and would demand me to come over, and I would go every single time, and then he would do it 2 weeks later, every single weekend. Yeah. Oh, Saul texts with his mom saying that he wants to marry a different girl who was also his best friend's ex. While we were dating. It was also my sorority. We bought a dog together. I bought the dog. And he claimed this dog was his, but did not buy the dog one toy, not help with the dog.
And then wanted money.
And then wanted money when the dog got famous. One time, I came back and all his roommates started screaming at me saying I sucked and that I've gained so much weight and that I was fat, and all he did was sit and watch. What? Yeah.
How are these?
This is a list of things our ex-boyfriends did that we thought were normal, but definitely weren't. Okay, starting off strong, we went on a double date with these guys, bowling, and they like were complaining about paying for our $10 rental shoes the whole night. They were like, do you seriously expect me to pay?
And the guy that I was with, I was driving a Bug, so like a tiny little Beetle. He brings this giant like bowling rolly bag, has his own ball, has his own bowling shoes. Like he
brings everything.
He was a bowler.
And then after that date, it was freezing cold. Me and my date are in the back seat, and they're up front. And she's like, "Hey, will you get up and like pump my gas? Here's my card." And he was like, "No, like it's cold out."
It's cold out.
And she had to go pump her own gas. One time I literally had alcohol poisoning. I was throwing up for 14 hours straight, and her and my boyfriend were both there at the time. She stayed up with me all night while I was throwing up, and my boyfriend went out to eat with the boys.
And then I fell asleep like in bed with her.
Like 5 a.m.
He comes back, kicks me out of the bed thinking he's gonna get some, and I had to sleep like on the floor.
Romantic. Oh, that's good.
Okay, so I was dating this guy for a couple months, and we went on a little camping trip together. And it was the 4th of July, so there's fireworks going off. And he pulls out a ring and starts proposing to me. And I literally closed my eyes. I was like, put it away, put it away.
And the ring was the wrong size. Like, she tried it on
I
later.
don't know where he got it.
No, that one definitely wasn't for you. Every time my ex-boyfriend referred, like, anything to my butt, he would call it boonk. Boonk. No, like, send boonk.
Okay, so this one was on Valentine's Day. And we had plans to see each other. And
nothing special.
Yeah, just freaking seeing each other on Valentine's Day. And he calls me because it snowed, and he was like, the boys and me are building snow forts. Like, I want to feel like a kid again today. Like, this doesn't even happen, snow. So he stayed. He
didn't see her on Valentine's
to build snow forts.
My ex-boyfriend, I got him like all this stuff for Christmas, like spent like a good $200 at least, and he got me Forever 21 sweatpants, bright red that said Noel with like a smiley face as the O, and a size too small.
Oh no, and it had he got you like $3 necklaces
that were gold. I only wear silver.
So a personal favorite of mine is a guy I dated. He convinced me, he told me that his dad was dead. Until I met his dad.
Yeah, and then she met his dad.
Found out he wasn't dead.
I've said this one on here before. My ex-boyfriend's friend like punched me in the jaw, and he kind of just watched it happen and like didn't do a single thing. Okay, my ex-boyfriend called me one day, and I don't know if he was trying to be like sweet, impressive, I don't know. But he's like, a crazy liar. Yeah, he's like, I ordered you all this Lululemon stuff, and I was like, what size did you get? Because I didn't like, and he said, oh, a small. Be fucking for real. My ex wouldn't pay for my Waffle House, so some other guy in the restaurant did because he overheard it, and he got mad at me. He got mad at me.
My ex did, and I still stayed. sent me pictures from other girls on Instagram telling me that they're so beautiful. First time I visited him, we had like a 2-hour distance. I came by train and he was...
Okay. Some of the stories that these girls were saying, I was just like, what's going on? And in my mind, I'm like, why are you stupid? What was wrong with you? Like, are you honestly? And they came out and said, oh, don't abuse me. I was naive. I was stupid. I was this is a long time ago. But no way. Some of those statements, some of the things that the guys did were just crazy. And I'm like, why did they stay? But when you think about it, a lot of time they are probably naive, or they felt that they were in love with this person. And then at the end of the day, you find out that it's just stupidity. Look at the first one, that she was practically still in shower, and the human being had looked for somebody to replace because he couldn't keep it together. Oh my goodness. And the last one, the last lady that was like, she was just, I think it's the same person, and this was what he was doing for probably months, and she still stayed. The whole thing just reminded me of something that happened to me, like and this was kind of the thing that made me say I'm not going to check people's phone. I checked his phone, and then I saw a chat with somebody, and the way the person was talking, it was like as if something that happened when he came to her house, and then he left his inhaler because he was asthmatic. And I asked in a way that he would not know that I knew what was going on. That what was this? What happened? Did you go to somebody's house? Did you do this? And it was like, oh, something. Just tried to push it away. And eventually he was like, oh, he went, and he just went to drop something. They were in the same stuff and the rest. It just looked like it was lying and everything. And I was like, okay, let me not say anything. Let me not assume too much. Even though the way the chat was, it didn't look like it was innocent. But I just felt, okay, let me not be too dramatic and everything. But you know how God sometimes will just make you snap out of it. I think when he traveled, I was just like, okay, this is not for me. And I started pulling back. That by the time he came back, I was like, I'm sorry, I cannot do this. I don't even know how I just said, go back, go on your way, I will go on my way. I can't even remember whether I stopped replying his messages or something, and he had the feeling that I was pulling back, and then he came to see me and I was not responding, and then he knew that, okay, that I'm out of whatever situationship that was going on. And I think that was how it ended. I was just like, but at that time when I was asking the question, I was still like, let me just do something. Let me just stay. Let me not be thinking that I'm overreacting. But prior to that thing happening, some of my guy friends had been saying that this particular person is not good. I do not understand what they were saying. That this person that you're associating with is not a good person, and they were trying to like look out for me, but I didn't get it. It was not later on, after everything, and I told the person bye and everything, and then someone was not saying that they used to see him after leaving my place. They would see him with some other people, and that he was looking on a funny way, but I was silly at that time, and I did not understand their nuances. They didn't want to just come out and say, okay, this is what's going on, but they were just trying to say this person is not good. Any which way, so I understand why some of them stay in the relationship even when they experienced a lot of the rubbish that the men did. The thing is, at one point in time, after being so naive, something will happen that will snap you out of the naivety, and you get your senses back. Or something like the last one, that he broke up with her and she got her senses back. Anyway, that's I thought about this whole situation. I would love to hear your own experience. If you have any experience like this that is similar to what has been shared, where the guy, or even if you're a guy, the female did some things and you were like, oh, it's outrageous, but you just felt it was normal and you still stayed in the relationship, and then later on you found out, you realized that that was a weird thing to do and that was the wrong thing to do, and you staying in the relationship was very weird and very stupid. I would love to hear your own stories if you have, and I would love to hear your thoughts on some of the things that the girls said. So please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.